Look inside an iPhone 16 charging port and you'll see in teeny tiny letters, China, not America. But it's cheaper and more efficient to manufacture in China.
A giant screen. Now, how are we going to communicate this? We don't want to carry around a mouse, right? So what are we going to do?
What if the iPhone were made entirely in America? And I mean completely American made. Every part, every chip, every screw assembled by American workers in American factories. The question is, why would almost no one be able to afford that iPhone? Let's break this down. Because the truth is, it's not just about buying American. It's about global economics, labor, and an insanely complex supply chain. Let's start with the big one, labor. The current iPhone is assembled mainly in China by companies like Foxconn. There, factory workers can earn equivalent of $2 to $5 an hour. Now compare that to the US. A skilled manufacturing worker in the US earns $20 to $30 an hour, sometimes more with benefits. So if you move iPhone assembly to the US, you are multiplying labor costs by 10 to 15 times. Even if labor is just a small part of the iPhone's cost, say $30 or $50 per device, that could easily jump to $200 or even more if it's done in America. And that's just assembly. We haven't even touched parts yet. The power of China's manufacturing ecosystem, Shenzhen, China isn't just where iPhones are assembled, it's the beating heart of the world's electronics manufacturing. Within a 50-mile radius, you can find suppliers of circuit boards, microchips, lithium batteries, glass panels, tiny screws, and sensors. This is called a manufacturing ecosystem, and China has the most advanced one on Earth. Now picture trying to recreate that in the United States. That means building entire factories from scratch, not just one but dozens, across materials, microelectronics, and tooling. That would take years to develop, and it wouldn't be cheap, billions if not tens of billions just to match what China already has. Until then, every component would have to be imported or made inefficiently in small-scale US factories. Tariffs and trade war effects. Now here's where it gets worse. In a full-on trade war, the US would likely impose tariffs or outright bans on importing parts from China. That means no more Chinese displays, batteries, or chips. Anything that is imported gets taxed heavily. And guess what? Over 70% of iPhone components, even those designed in the US, are manufactured or processed in Asia with China at the center. Tariffs would drive up the cost of every single part, and sourcing them elsewhere, Japan, South Korea, India might help, but prices would still go up and logistics would get more complicated. The cost of just getting parts to US factories would balloon, and those costs get passed on to you, the buyer. Economies of scale would collapse. iPhone's supply chain is a global machine that produces over 200 million iPhones per year. They get bulk discounts, consistent quality, and lightning-fast delivery from suppliers all over the world. If the iPhone became all American, Apple would lose a lot of that efficiency. Factories in the US would have lower output, higher error rates, and much higher costs, at least at first. So now, Apple's not just paying more, it's producing less efficiently. That means prices have to rise even further to make up for it. And here's a key point. This isn't just about money, it's about time and scale. And you can't recreate Apple's global production overnight. Estimated price of an all-American iPhone. Let's go to the bottom line. How much would an all-American iPhone actually cost? Most analysts agree that the current iPhone, let's say iPhone 15 Pro, cost around $1,000 at retail. If you move full production to the US, add tariffs on parts, raise labor costs, and disrupt supply chains, economists estimate the retail price would jump to between $2,000 and $3,000 per device. That's not an exaggeration, and it depends on how strict we are about what all-American means. If only assembly is done in the US, maybe the price jumps a few $100s. If every part is made and sourced domestically, we are talking triple the cost. Apple's dilemma, profit versus patriotism. This leaves Apple with a brutal choice: absorb the cost increase and hurt profits, pass those costs to consumers and lose market share, lobby against restrictions and face political backlash. Apple could shift some production to countries like India or Vietnam, and they are already doing that. But replacing China completely is almost impossible in the short term. They might market a made in America iPhone as a premium patriotic luxury, but they sell as a fraction of what they do now. And Wall Street wouldn't like that at all. The global reality of the iPhone. The iPhone is a product of globalization, designed in California, assembled in China, made with parts from over 30 countries. It's not just a phone, it's a symbol of how interconnected the world economy is. Trying to make it purely American would break the system that makes it affordable and accessible to millions. In theory, all American iPhone sounds patriotic. In reality, it's a $3,000 luxury item that most people can't afford. So next time someone says, "Why don't we just make iPhones in the US?" you'll know the answer. It's not just about location, it's about cost, infrastructure, labor, and global cooperation. The iPhone is global because it has to be. And unless we are ready to pay luxury prices, it probably always will be. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you found this interesting. See you in the next one.